Today I'm going to do an unboxing of Normandy 44. This is the third printing that just got released from GMT Games. It's a Mark Simonitch design. It's part of his, well, it's not really a series, but I don't know if you want to call it his 4X series or Zachbon series, but it's not a traditional series in that it's not the same set of rules for each of the games, but it has a similar rules and mechanics for most of the series. And there's several in this title. There's Ukraine 43 and Stalingrad 42, Ardennes 44, and I'm probably throwing out a few. I'm trying to just go through the ones that I have, and Holland 44, and now I have Normandy 44. I think there's others in that set, but those are the ones I have, and I was anxious to get a hold of this one, waiting for the third printing to come out, and 2021 is when it's coming out. So let's look at the back of the box here. Gives you an example of the map, and this is again dealing with Normandy, the Normandy invasion, and I did a deep dive not too long ago about scale, and I kind of put this maybe in most of these in this kind of open quote series into the operational sense, in that you're dealing with kind of a longer period of time and the size of the units and what have you. Game meter here has complexity at 5, so right middle of medium, and has solid air suitability at 7. I guess that's because there's not a lot of hidden information in there. Units are battalion, regiments, or brigades. Players 2 to 3, age 14 and up. Time is 1 day per turn, and the map scale is 3.8 kilometers per hex. So, and you get an example of some of the counters in there. Again, if you're familiar with any in Simonitch's line of the 4X, you're going to be familiar with this. As I said, they generally have a common rules or mechanics on dealing with, like the Zachbon, which is this mechanic where basically prohibits or restricts or impedes movement through the hexes when you have units on either side of a hex, and so you have that Zachbon that it's kind of like a extended zone of control in some respects, and so all these games have some sense of that rule in there. But then, depending upon the scenario or the situation or what they're trying to model, it might have paratroop or road blockages or dealing with bridges or what have you. And of course, Normandy, I expect, is going to have the paratroop, some issues in that, or some rules surrounding that I would imagine are probably similar to some of what they have in the Holland one as well. Anyway, so let's get inside the box here and see what we get in Normandy 44. I like this. Again, I'm misusing the term series because this really is not series and such, but I do like series. I do like this one because it has a common rule set, or has very similar rules that you can be familiar with. And so when you want to play a different game in this set, or whatever you want to call it, you don't have to relearn everything all over again. So I'm kind of a fan of series or common rules because it allows me to kind of get into it in a little bit easier format there. So we've got boxes. It's not a big box. I think it's like, what, a 1 inch or 1.5 inch. It's not a very thick box there, but a sturdy box, or I should say deep box. So you have the die there, and you have the rules, which come out to 36 pages, but you got some charts here on the back, an index, designer notes, And it looks like there's an example of play here that goes in there. So then you get the scenarios. And so special rules. So it looks like you're talking about 24, 25 pages of rules. A little bit over 24 pages of rules there. So, and again, there's probably a lot of similarity between this and some of the other games in the 4X line. And here's that Zockbon I was telling you about there. Trying to avoid some of the glare there. Sorry about that. But standard fare for GMT. You know, you got your numbered paragraphs and talking about the rules. And again, if you're familiar with any in these line here of 4X or Zockbon, then this should be, you know, this shouldn't be too hard to pick that up and run with that. Let's see what else we got. Let's just dump everything out here and see what we got here. So you have a player aid here, which your combat's results table, determined defense. That's another one of those common rules, determined defense. A lot of this series, I believe all of them have it, but I'd have to go back and check. At least the ones I have this determined defense where you don't automatically retreat. You can potentially stay in position. And here's your list of modifiers. Here's your terrain effects chart that goes along with that. Here's your order of battle, German at start. And this is a Cherbourg scenario, so there's different scenarios that go here. Other than, I imagine there's probably a campaign type game that does the whole Normandy, and then you have different scenarios. Here's the Allied start, nothing on the back there. Here's German reinforcement card, in Britain card, nothing on the back there. And then you get to your counter sheets here. Looks like you have 2 portion counter sheets. And here's 1 of 3. Here's your German counters here. Of course, they're double-sided. And a standard for this series, pretty much. Sorry, getting a little bit of glare there. Trying some new lighting and seeing how that works. So you got your U.S. and Commonwealth forces there, dual-sided, and then some markers it looks like here. Oop, upside down. And double-sided, and then you have your map. Let's see if I can get some of the map on the board here. It's a one mapper here. And there you got your beaches of Normandy there. And I'll kind of go up, kind of do a little bit of a rolling thing here. Here's Caen, and you have your, you know, Sword, Juno, and Gold beaches. Then you have Omaha here, and then Utah here. So, not a bad looking map. Doesn't take up too much of a footprint here. I kind of like that. You got a turn track on there. You have a general record track. You have your weather table. This would probably be, I guess, holding boxes for, like, there's air support, but also the landing boxes. You also have far over on this side over here, you have kind of a terrain key, airborne scatter. Again, that's for your airdrops. So all in all, I like the look of it. I like the look of this game and this series in general. So that's what you get in a box of Normandy 44. I'm going to dump everything out as I try to flip over the cover there. So there you have it, Normandy 44, third printing. There's a mountain map for this as well. That was like a separate thing for, I think that came out after the second printing. That's been on sale, like on Miniature Market and Cool Stuff Inc. and some of the other places. I was looking at that and thought about picking that up, and was probably going to pick it up from NWS Wargaming, but with the recent sad news of what's going on there, don't know when that, if ever, is going to get back into the swing of things. You know, I like mounted maps. I'm one of the few that do like, I mean, I think a lot of people like, you know, the paper maps that they can put plexiglass on and you can mark and do all that other stuff. I actually have a video talking about board versus paper on maps. I generally like the mounted maps, especially when it's a smaller footprint like this, where it's just one map. That to me is a little bit easier to manage and to use, and I like the feel of that. That goes back to the old Avalon Hill days, in my opinion. But anyway, that's what you get in a box of Normandy 44. Hopefully this was helpful. I like to get this to the board. I have a lot of the 4X series that I need to get to the board that have been kind of you know, sitting on my shelf and just staring me down. So anyway, as always, thanks for spending some time with me, and I hope that this was helpful to you. Thanks for watching.